The next step, if you have practiced that meditation for a long time and you're really good at it and you don't have to think when you do it and you can do it very naturally, the next step is to, instead of drawing energy from just the front, also draw energy from all directions. So imagine that whenever you're opening your hands like this, there's a big bubble that is opening up around you. You're making this big bubble. So this big bubble is not just in front of you, but the big bubble is also behind you, also to the side, to your left, to your right, also goes up and down. So you're making this big sphere that's centered around your chakra. So whenever you breathe in, let's say you breathe in your sacral chakra, you're imagining this big orange bubble expanding around your whole body. The bigger it is, the better. Just imagine, feel that bubble all around your body expanding. And then when you breathe out, feel that bubble just dissipating. Breathe in. Imagine expanding of the bubble. And then breathe out. Okay, center upon your chakra. So that's another way, more advanced technique that you can try when you do the color breathing method. Now, beyond just color, what else does the eye perceive when it looks around and perceives the world? We also see shapes. What kind of shapes? There's circles, squares, triangles, rectangles, all sorts of shapes we see. If you look at nature, do you actually see shapes? There's many people who think that nature is just a complete chaos, the universe is complete chaos, and there's no design behind it. There's no pattern to it. But actually, it's been scientifically proven that there is a pattern to all that's happening around us, to all that we perceive in reality. For example, there's the Fibonacci ratio of 1.6180327. So what's so special about this ratio? What's so special about this number? If you measure nature, everything is based on this ratio. If you measure the dimensions and the ratio of the different parts of your face, for example, from your chin to your mouth versus your chin to the tip of your nose versus the chin to your eyes and to your top of your head, they're all measured with that ratio. What else is measured with this ratio? If you look at coral, the spiral, as it gets bigger and bigger, it's based on that ratio too. Sunflowers, all flowers when they grow, all plant life when they grow, most of it grow according to that ratio. And if you really do your research, you can find that there's many places in nature, even the galaxy, our Milky Way, is based on that ratio, the spiral ratio of 1.6180327. So if the world is all chaotic and disorganized and without any kind of design, then how come there's this one ratio that appears all over the universe and very consistently throughout nature? Now let's talk about ratios. Isn't ratios the universal language of the universe? Because if you think about it, even on our own planet, we have our measurements. We have kilometers, we have miles, we have centimeters, inches, right? It gets confusing after a while because we have so many different units of measure. Now just imagine theoretically that there's an alien from another planet. How would they measure their time? How would they measure their distance? Would it be the same as using a meter here? Would it be the same as using a second here on Earth or an hour? Probably completely different, right? We even have differences here on our planet Earth. But what remains the same is ratio, because it doesn't matter whether it's the size of each individual increment. When you have a ratio, it doesn't matter what the measure of the increment is, because it's also always a ratio between one and the other. So ratios could possibly be the universal language of the entire universe. For example, we have the Pythagoras triangle, which has the three sides A, B, and C. And the formula for that is a squared plus b squared equals to c squared. So it's all based on a ratio. So the study of these geometries in Hindu mysticism is called yantra with a Y. Now you probably heard of mantra with an M. And mantra uses our voices and chanting and sound for the purposes of spiritual enlightenment in the Hindu mysticism. But yantra is using geometries. And also in Chinese mysticism, we have many geometries too. There is the yin-yang symbol, which is a circle, and it's also geometrical. We have the yin-yang symbol, which is a circle, which is also very geometrical. And there's also the I Ching, which is based on the hexagram. So remember what I said about how colors and light can affect your mind and your mood and your psyche and even your body? Well, geometries actually do the same thing. Different shapes and different ratios of what you perceive, or even your surroundings around you. What you are living in, the space that you're living in, the geometries and ratios based on your space could possibly affect your mind and your body and your spirit and your psyche and everything about you. Haven't you ever walked into a room where you felt that it was very uncomfortable, or you felt that it was very cold, not just physically cold, but it just felt cold, and it just felt that it wasn't very welcoming? Or have you walked into a place that you felt very alive and you felt very invigorated and very energized? So what are some ways that you can incorporate these colors and these geometries into your meditation? Well, one way to do that is to use some geometric shapes that you can find that people have been using to meditate. So one shape that you can use is the flower of life. Flower of life pattern is a very powerful pattern. Why is it called the flower of life? And you can do some research on that, on why the flower of life is such a significant symbol, such a significant geometric shape. So having all these colors and shapes and geometries, it may be confusing, and it may be even distracting to your meditation. Well, the point of this is not to make you confused and distracted. It may be confusing, and you don't want to be doing all of this stuff at the same time. You want to maybe pick one thing and just work on that one thing and focus on it until you can just do it naturally. And eventually, you'll be able to increase your awareness of what is really happening in the universe. Because we can be distracted with all our thoughts and things happening in our lives. And what I want to do is to focus on just what is natural, what is nature. And all the things that I talked about today are all based on nature, all based on the universe. We were talking about the electromagnetic frequencies that we can observe with our eyes and what we cannot even observe with our eyes. We're talking about geometries and ratios that exist throughout all universe, throughout nature. So once you understand those things, then you can start to see the universe in a different way and start to be able to concentrate and focus on these things rather than things that are not natural. So one of the highest levels of meditation is to have no mind, being able to do everything without doing anything, which is kind of like being able to do everything and being very powerful, being very competent without being even aware that you're doing it. So you're so good at it that you don't even have to try. You're doing it without thinking, you're doing it even without intentionally doing it. You're just doing it naturally. That is one of the highest levels of meditation, is to be able to achieve higher states of awareness without even trying and without even doing anything. But to get there, there are many steps. You can't just get there right away. So there's 4 levels of mastery. The first level is being unconsciously incompetent. That means you don't even know that you really suck at something. You don't even know, you're not even aware that you're so bad at it. You're unconsciously incompetent. Well, the next step is to be consciously incompetent. Now, you probably fail at something, or you see somebody that is more successful than you, and you see that you are consciously incompetent. You are now aware that you suck. Now you're now aware that you're not good at something. Well, after that, let's say you practice, you meditate for a few months or years, or a few days, even for some people, and you start to develop competence consciously. So that means you're consciously competent. Now the next step, if you do that for many years, for 10,000 hours, they say, you will achieve the mastery level, which is now you're unconsciously competent. You don't even have to think about it, you have this naturally, there's no intention, and then you just do it automatically. So before we can reach higher levels of meditation, it does take a lot of practice, and you have to go through those 4 steps of mastering anything, just like anything. So you want to achieve higher states of awareness, yes, you have to go through a process. You can't just snap your fingers and be there right away. I wish that was possible. So we have to go through some sort of process in order to get there. Now there's ways to accelerate that process, which I can talk about in some other lessons, but it is still a process. So you have to understand that you have to practice and you have to be really dedicated to achieve those higher levels. So ask your questions in this comment section. If you have any input that's going to help people watching this video, then also add it into the comment section. Make sure you click the like button, share this with your friends, and subscribe to this channel. If you haven't subscribed already, click the subscribe button, click that bell so you get instant notification of all the new lessons that are coming out. So I'm Sifu David, your mind and body mentor. Stick around for the next lesson on how to meditate with sound, and we'll see you soon in that lesson. And yes, we're giving away these free DVDs, Ancient Qigong Secrets for Mind and Body. All you need to do to enter the contest is to subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell to get notifications of all the new lessons, and comment in the comment section and like this video, and you'll be entered into the draw. Every week we're giving away a free DVD, so good luck.